Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about, and I've discussed this before, I want to talk about this might piss people off, why we don't really need genres anymore. So first of all, what is a genre? If you're watching, it's like, what are you talking about? Some people might not know. That's categories, basically categories, whether you write, you have books or movies or whatever. There's usually a category and it falls under that, and people kind of zero in that, and that's the focus. Now, the problem with this idea and this concept is most really good, in my opinion, books, movies. Oh my God, I'm looking out the window and I'm watching Blue Jays fighting. Like, I don't know what's going on. I must be creating a controversy. Anyway, they're getting upset about this genre thing. Yeah, so I totally lost my train of thought. Okay, so yes, there's different genres. That's what a genre is, a category. Your book is, or your movie, or whatever. It's romance, or it's murder, or it's probably crime, not murder. Mystery, thriller. Like, there's different categories. People tend to be more interested in different categories. That's fine. The problem is in this day and age, this is what I started to say before I got distracted by the birds outside. In this day and age, the problem is that people have short attention spans. So I think in order to keep them captivated, and I'm finding this in the most popular shows on television, the most popular books and movies, it has to have a lot of stuff going on. People need a lot of stuff going on. I need a lot of stuff going on, or I'm bored. As a writer, as I'm writing, I'm like, I'm getting bored. I need to throw something in here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same category. Now, not to say that a lot of books and movies and whatever that have a specific category only have that thing and there's nothing else going on. I'm not saying that. I think you need a lot of stuff going on now. And so it's really difficult to put something in a genre, and it can actually make you lose an audience because they think, oh, that's blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. Well, maybe they would. I have my books under crime. Some people think, oh, I don't like crime, but they might like my books because maybe they're graphic, but not as gory as maybe something like Stephen King would write. Okay, but then other people who might like my books thinking, oh, she gets very gory, maybe they think that because of the sort of subject matter, might be disappointed because it's not gory enough. See what I mean? You kind of get into that whole dilemma. I don't know if that's a dilemma, but kind of dilemma, little one. Anyway, and that's the problem. Now, I had a book, my first book, Fire. And it was suggested to me by someone at my publisher that I should call it because one of the categories I had mentioned was romance. It was one of the categories. There's a lot of stuff going on. It was about people in the music industry in the 90s and kind of the issues they dealt with when they're discovered. I don't know if that happens anymore. Whatever. They're discovered and they kind of are forced or encouraged to be a certain way and to really get a certain image, and I don't know, just publicity scams and that sort of thing. It's been a while since I wrote it. Anyway, the point is there's a lot of stuff going on that kind of highlights how manufactured the music business can be. Is now, but back then it was starting probably, and it probably always has been. I just think now it's more so. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole can of worms. The point is that it was essentially about that, but there was a romance in the story, and it was suggested to me that should be the central idea behind the story and the genre. The problem with that is, first of all, I didn't want to do that. Did not want to do that. They wanted me to cut off my story at a certain point and say, okay, and that's done. Happily ever after. And I don't like that. If you know me, I'm not into that. My stories end more in a happy for now. Things are resolved for now kind of way. Anyways, So the point is if I had done that and followed their advice, I would have lost huge amount of people, because then people who like romance would maybe be more inclined to read it, but other people who don't and might just automatically, and I would be one of them, turned off by the idea, would dismiss it and not even want to pick up the book. Well, in fairness, that was a very small portion of the book. It's about a lot of other stuff. So it wasn't really fair to just put it in that category. And that was sort of my point. Or my point now is that if you put something in a little category, it can be misleading and it can lose a lot of your audience or potential audience, because they think, oh, it's just, and even now, I mean, my books I'm writing now, they're thrillers, they're crime, murder. I'm hesitant to really categorize it in one little thing, because it sends the wrong message that that's all it's about. So, for example, I don't want to say my books are very brutally, well, I do, but they're very brutal at times, because somebody who reads Stephen King might read my books and be like, that's not brutal. It could be a way lot more brutal, lady. And that's true. But then somebody else who's just looking for a nice little crime fiction where the good guy wins and the bad guy loses would be very disappointed too, because that doesn't happen in my books. And and it has been said to me before, somebody read one of my books once and they're like, oh my God, it's so brutal. Somebody else would read it and be like, well, crime fiction, yeah, it's supposed to be brutal like this. So it's really, really difficult to categorize your books, put them in a genre, because there's so many bits and pieces. But yeah, and there has to be a lot going on. I have dark humor, I have suspense, I have the thriller, I have the gory, maybe, depending on your opinion, crimes. I have the romance. I have all that different stuff. But people like that. They like a nice mix. And so, really, do we need genres anymore? I don't know. What do you think? Like the video, subscribe, sign up for my newsletter, hit the bell on here, and then you can get all these videos right to your mailbox. Have a great day, guys.